Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Saturday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Ullman along with the Equibase ace, Keith Fustel. We've got 9 on tap today. We had some nice action yesterday, including a very impressive 2-year-old first-time starter.
Just filtered for Gary Cap. A little trouble out of the gate. Horse from the outside veered in, bothered a couple horses, was able to recover. A loop and swoop move, 5-6 wide. And I don't know if I remember. I mean, Romeo ran great the other day, but the adversity and then sustaining that run through the wire was ultra impressive. I know you talked to Gary Cap after the race. Obviously, he was impressed, but what's in store?
The plan is to give this horse a little bit of a break. At least that's what Gary told me, and I understand why. When you saw her in the paddock in the post parade, she seemed a little bit skittish. Heck, she's a baby. She wasn't skittish on the track. Again, pinched at the start, wider than wide, and then just blasted away to win by 8. We've had 2 very impressive 2-year-old winners, and we've got a 2-year-old race later today.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, Gary Cap, the list goes on and on with these trainers around here that have had success with the juveniles, and we've seen them move forward and go up to bigger and better things, and hoping that's in store for those 2 runners.
Speaking of success, it was a successful opening day for players that played the Charm City Pick 5. At least one player got the grand prize of $1,000 for correctly selecting the winner in each of the legs of the late Pick 5. You still can sign up. You have until June the 1st. CharmCityPick5.com. Pick and pray contest. Play the late Pick 5 every single day. Just basically make your top picks for the late Pick 5. Whoever has the most cumulative earnings at the end of this meet gets big prizes.
I love it. I love it. Play along each and every day if you can. Let's, talking about the Pick 5s. Did we want to go to weather yet?
Let's do weather.
Yeah, let's do weather real quick, and then we'll get to the Pick 5. But track today, fast. We had a good track all the way through the card yesterday. Turf upgraded to firm for this afternoon's racing card. I thought the turf looked good yesterday. Main track, a little bit of an outer lean. I saw those outside paths doing well. You could close ground. I think turf, same thing. Played pretty fair. You could pretty much win from anywhere on the turf, but we saw some horses getting it done from off the pace. But upgraded track conditions for this Saturday card.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought closers did very, very well. Maybe a bit of an outside lean yesterday. And now we have to get ready for today's race number 1, mile and a 16th on the turf. Condition claiming race, 16 down to 12-5. Non-winners are 2 life. This race for fillies and mares. Take out the 6, Luminous Secret. First leg of our first of 2. 12% takeout. Value Pick 5 is one of the best bets in racing.
Yeah, if you're not playing along, you are making a serious, serious mistake. The Pick 5s yesterday. Early Pick 5, 15 grand. The late Pick 5, 3,800. Worth a dime was the one that kind of just pumped everything up. That first-time starter for Tim Keefe with Forrest Boy Scout had done a strong surge to get by the heavy favorite, Yo Adrian. We're going to kick off this card with this early value Pick 5, again with a 12% takeout, with a $36 ticket. This is not an easy sequence. I looked at the picks earlier today, this morning, and our picks are kind of all over the map. So spread-a-rama. I like my tactics. 2 horses, top and bottom, use them. But we're going to attack this Pick 5 in race 1 with the 1, 5, and 8. Sea Shanty off of a break looked really good, getting it done to close it out last season. Race 2 with the 2, 4, 5. Race 3, we're going to whittle it down. We're going to go Delacour, the 1 and the 2. Race 4 with the Jack Harmon, a 1 and a 5. Miss Serafina and a Sweet Izzy. Race 5, 9-11. Juniper Juice back with the girls in the 11. Magic in the Park. There with that Keefe Boyce combo off a trouble trip last time out, $36.
$36, 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. Sensational bet. Let's start things off with your top selection in race number 1. We have a video spotlight on Magically Vanished. This horse tried turf last time out. A, it was in against some tough horses. B, didn't have the cleanest trip.
No, did not have a clean trip at all. Right there, we give you the old rough start right here. I believe number 8 this particular afternoon. Bounced around. Multiple horses. Magic in the Park was part of that. The 6 horse, save that for later in the old memory bank. But after Magically Vanished got kind of bounced around at the break at an 83-1 price, stayed pretty much 4 or 5 wide the remainder of the trip. Only beaten 6 lengths. Tuck check. That was the Lindsey Schultz runner who came through along the inside. Didn't have the easiest trips as well, but Magically Vanished, enough of a finish. It's in attack mode now here for the Frocks. They're going to drop this horse down back to the 2 in life. I like the move to the inside, a cleaner trip. Should be forward enough against this group because there is not a lot of true speed in here. I would want to get fairly close early.
I think if this horse isn't on the lead, he's going to be sitting the coveted pocket trip. Just has that tactical speed. You said it all. Double drop in class, tough trip against tougher competition. This horse really fits in this spot, as does my top selection, the number 5, Sea Shanty. You mentioned the most recent start. It was way back in November, but this horse really just put it all together, and I wonder if it was finally stretching out to a mile or over, just tracked under a very confident ride, attacked on the turn with a 3-wide bid, and went off to the races. Lizzie Merriman Barn doing very, very well. Of course, winning the stake at Pimlico with Whitty and coming back yesterday with little brother Enzo.
Absolutely, the family keeps on rolling. But I did like the way she went through the wire. I mean, relaxed beautifully under Toledo out there 3-4 wide and sustained, and nobody was going to catch it. They could have kept going around again. She finished up quite well in that mile and a 16th race. The numbers were moving in the right direction, a little fresh, a little maturity. Might just take it up another step today.
We both have Red Fire in there for third, returning to the Cal Lynch barn. This horse faced some tough competition last time out at Gulfstream. The runner-up came out of that race to win with a 70 Beyer speed figure over Gulfstream's Tapeta surface. Doesn't seem to have a ton of speed. Tried to get into it with a 4-wide bid last time, and the 3 favorites were just too strong.
I think both these outer horses, the 7 and 8, similar styles. Might need just a little help. I mean, it might be against them. We'll see this flow, how it's going to develop. I don't think it's going to be super fast. Magically Vanished, let's get up there and get position early. Sea Shanty, I think, was keen enough in that race prior to the layoff to be forward as well.
Alexander Crispin takes the mount on the number 8. 1, 5, 8, and 7 for Keith. 5, 1, 8, and 2 for me in the opener on Saturday at Laurel Park. Let's take a look at race number 2. This race is for the babies, 2-year-olds, 4.5 furlongs. It's a maiden special weight. We attract 6. It is the first of our 2 50-cent pick 4 wagers. We've got early, we've got late. As I always say on the show, if you happen to get knocked out of the pick 5, and we don't want you to be, get right back in the pick 4. And if you are still alive in the pick 5, get back in the pick 4. Greed is good in this business.
Yes, it is.
And Gary Kapp with 2-year-olds has been very, very good. He's 5 for his last 12, and he's got Let's Go Lando.
5 for his last 12. By game winner. This is another stat I'm still a little bit unfamiliar with. Not a lot to go on. The 2-year-old first-time starter figs, Dan, have been a little bit light, a little bit better with the 3-year-olds, but it's the bottom side again. Half the hammer time. Shackled Love. I mean, it's been, 2 debut winners out of 5 starters for this mare. Right back with Gary Kapp.
It's just one good horse after another from this female line. Let's Go Lando showing a string of solid workouts for this race. I think this horse looks like a legitimate contender. I'm going to go with Sidestep, and a horse that sold for $40,000 as a yearling and then went up for $150,000 in March after breezing in 10-1. This is a half-brother to Gorgeous Bird, who was a stakes place sprinter, 88 Beyer speed figure, a half to Pow Wow Wow, who was a grade 2 stakes placed dirt sprinter. The Dam's an unraced half to Bird Song, who won the Kentucky Oaks. This is the family of Bird Stone, who won the Belmont Stakes and the Travers. There's a lot of class in this pedigree, and I really like that this horse is mature enough to have worked 5/8 out of the gate. So he's worked longer than this race.
Absolutely. The conditioning certainly should be there for Sidestep, and I like the family. I'm also take a look at this 2-horse. How are you going to pronounce this one?
Let's call it Hop Toss.
Hop Toss. Okay, Hop Toss by Entice. Only about 8 or 9% with the first-time starters, but the family is there. 7 starters, 2 seconds, 2/3 out of this line, 6 winning siblings. They've knocked on the door, getting out of the box, but I think this combination you see with Rob, Perez, they've had Romeo and other ones. This one's going to be well prepped and ready to go.
Just lots of sprint ability on the bottom of this pedigree. Hop Toss is a half to just wave and smile. It was a stakes winner sprinting on the turf. The Dam was a multiple stakes winner on the turf. She's a half to a grade 3 winning dirt sprinter, so a lot of speed expected from the number 2. Fortune Hill has experience, and if you believe experience counts, well, Fortune Hill's where you're going to go at a price, because this horse at least showed a little bit of speed in the debut, then seemed green.
He was pretty sharp out of the gate, tried to lug out a little bit around the turn, into and around the turn, maybe a tweak of the bit or something like that could keep this guy a little bit straighter course of fade through the final furlong. But yeah, the experience and the way this horse popped out of the gate showed that early speed was definitely promising. You go inside a little bit with the one most smoking, You see the family there, Kin to Stroll Smoking.
Yeah.
Those are pretty fast.
Won
horses.
his debut.
And Corrales' horse, a couple of them, they ran all right yesterday. You know, the one snuck through along the rail, but Gary Capp a little too good. Keep an eye on the one. It's always tough on the inside with the debut runners, especially at 2.
And Gary Camp has 6
Yeah.
worker B in here, coming in off a solid string of works, including a bullet last month. Fun race for 2-year-olds, 5-2-4-1 for Keith, 4-3-2-5 for me in race number 2. Race number 3, 5.5 furlongs on the lawn. It's a maiden claimer, 25 down to 20. Maryland breds eligible for the 30. Take out the 5, the 11, and the 13. Alexander Crispin picks up the mount on the number 14 Rehoboth Avenue. Race number 3 again kicks off a pick 5 wager, pick 4 wager, pardon me, middle pick 4 with a 50-cent minimum. And again, these have been paying very, very well recently. We're going to start things off with your top selection in here, the number 2, Dancing on Our Own.
Yeah, I think Delacour could have this race surrounded. Obviously, you have Jewish Mother scratched out of the entry yesterday for BTR, but this horse, I thought, you know, the first race was good. The 5/8 on the turf down at Gulfstream Park. Brutal post, closed up plenty of ground. The buyer figure certainly works. And they tried to stretch out in third career start, going from the synthetic back to the turf. Battled a long way. That runner, the runner-up, came back to run a really good second. I believe it was yesterday. Caught that one, ran well. But I think Delacour, we've got some stats. Dancing on Our Own, the barn change from George Weaver here to Delacour. Look at this, 3 for the last 12.
25%, and for a high reputation barn like Delacour, that's a big ROI, $3.08. And Dancing on Our Own, you're right, just never got a breather last time out at Gulfstream. Stretched out for the first time, 24-1 first quarter, 23-1 second quarter, 23-2 third quarter. Understandable fade. This distance is much better. I think this horse is a stalking, closing sprinter.
Perfect, yeah, because I don't think she's as fast as her stablemate to the inside, ready to rock and roll. We have a video spotlight of this one going back to the Laurel race, right? Are we going back to November the 10th?
November the 10th.
Yeah, so out of the gate there in the mid-pack to pretty good speed, 21-4. 45-1, lighting it up on the front and taking that pressure early. Gets out there early to battle, shakes clear, just fades the last 1/8 of a mile. We're going to see this one from the final furlong. But I tell you what, the turn of foot that you're going to see, you're going to go synthetic to the turf, Lasix on. There's a lot to like for ready to rock and roll. I think Lady Limoncello is going to bring some speed, but just a little fade here this last 1/8 of a mile. But freshening out of a key race last time out at Turfway Park. I'll let you talk about that as well.
Certainly a key race. The winner came back to win 3 more in a row, including a stakes race there at Turfway Park. This horse has shown speed. The stamina hasn't been there thus far, but I just want to say this. Horses with speed dropping from maiden special to maiden claiming are often good plays, especially when they're trained by Arnaud Delacour. Maiden special and maiden claiming, 13 for the last 44, 236 ROI. You mentioned the Lasix. I think this horse is rail speed, and I just think is faster than my top selection, Lady Limoncello, who has shown the ability to sit from off the pace and do some good things. I thought this horse ran well in both turf starts last year. In the turf debut, sat behind the pace, was sort of over and behind horses in the stretch, and once clear, finished evenly. Showed a lot more speed in the second turf start. Actually hung in there all the way down to the wire, dropping a dirty head decision, finishing third with a good gallop out. I like that the blinkers are coming back on. I think J-Rod's going to sit off the 1, try to get the jump on the 2, turning into the stretch, and then I'll be screaming wire, second wire.
Save me, wire. I'm going to throw in Judas Cross. We talked about Niles Seville lately. Some of these horses paying some big numbers. Lasix on, blinkers coming off. Yeah, I just see a little bit of improvement there for that. We're taking a shot at a good number for Judas Cross. But I'm going to key around both those Delacour horses. I'm
going to use Lady Limoncello. You're right about Judas Cross. I like the blinkers off. This horse seemed very tentative racing down inside last time out with the blinkers on. And I think with the blinkers off and a clear outside run on the drop with the Lasix can make some noise at a price. Delacour exacta for Keith. 2-1, 8 and 4.
Are you brave enough to leave out Jewish Mother and the exactas and tries? So I just wanted first time Lasix on the turf. Again, the route race, okay, a little middle move in the maiden special weight. could also sit that good covered up trip the way it looks like for me, the way this race is going to shape up.
I think this horse is going to probably work out a pretty good trip. The last race is just a throw out on the dirt against a runaway, 2 starts back. I mean, that was a race against the boys. The pace was really fast. The top 2 finishers that day were 9th and 8th after a half mile. The speeds were nowhere, so it's an understandable fade. I don't like that Ellis Park race 4 back.
Okay. The style reminds me a little bit of Dat's Tap turning back.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that one got in trouble yesterday. Maybe tab that one on the comeback. There was a lot of trouble out of the gate in that race. Let's go to the 4th.
2184 for Keith, 82110 for me. Let's move on to race number 4, and we'll move back to the main track for this race, going 6 furlongs. We'll take out the number 3 Lee Linda from this maiden claiming event, 10 down to 8. Maryland bred's eligible for the 12,500 purse. This is the first leg of our 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. Pick the winners in the last 6 races on the card. If you're the only one, you get the jackpot. We've got a little carryover. We've only had 1 day in the meet. It'll build up unless you hit it today.
You want to give it to me? I would take it. I'm not going to shy away from anything.
Sweet Izzy.
Yeah, I'm going to land on this. And Brandon McFarland, let's go to the video spotlight. May 2nd, lone start, debut over this track, and a little bit of a slow beginning. For Sweet Izzy. Had that tough inside post. There you see it, but you know what I like is the acceleration. I give it the old burst inside comment for Sweet Izzy. Was able to kind of go out, get clear 22-4, and was maybe a little bit more rapid than that, having to recover from that trouble beginning. Only just to kind of fade the last 1/8 of a mile. I don't see a slew of speed in here. I think she's faster than Miss Serafina through the opening quarter if we can break well. So Brady's just had some tough luck with some of his horses coming out of the gate. They haven't come away cleanly. Maybe the tide will turn today and Sweet Izzy can break clean, relax a little bit up front, and take them coast to coast.
I bet Sweet Izzy in this race and was very proud of her performance because you saw the break. Off slow rush, it rarely works out, especially for first-time starters. And it was the 2 favorites that ran her down, and she was still trying hard all the way down to the wire. Sometimes when they have these tough races first time out, maybe they regressed. I trust Brandon, and I agree with you. I think she's faster than my top selection, that being Miss Serafina. Miss Serafina just missed last time out, but took some heat inside of the odds-on winner, really showed no quit in the stretch. She is what she is, which is a consistent horse that hasn't run a fast race yet. I'd like to see Jan Rodriguez maybe let Sweet Izzy go and somehow get to the outside.
Yeah, who brings the finish here? Is it the 4, Missy?
Yes.
I'm going to use the 4 a little bit. Messy Lou gets at Hazelwood here for Hammy Smith. Look at that comment. In debut, shuffled early. Had to work outward 5 wide. Hammy trying to ramp things up. It's gonna happen. But Messy Lou and I think Feel the Bolt, the 7 from the outside. They're the 2 legitimate closers, I would think, in this group.
I feel the Bolt, I think, is going to run back to some of her best races. It's her 3rd start off a 170 leg layoff. I don't mind the blinkers off. First start off the bench, she got wired over a speed-friendly track. Last time out, she just lost all chance at the start. She stumbled trying to go a mile. So there are some excuses there for Field the Bolt. And if the 1 and the 5 hook up in a little barbecue, you're right. The 4 and the 7 come with a strong late kick. 5147 for Keith, 1756 for me in race number 4. 4 down, 5 to go on a Saturday card. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with a late pick 5. Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. This is Keith. 4 down, 5 to go. Race number 5, 1 mile on the turf. It's a state-sired allowance race for fillies and mares. We'll take out the number 6, Dazzy. It leaves us with a nice full field of 10 to kick off the second of our 2 12% takeout value pick 5 plays. And our friend and colleague Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket.
Yes. Let's see what Max got to offer today. Singling Magic in the Park. A little bit of value to get you kick-started 6-1 on the morning line. It's going to be a $36 ticket when it's all said and done. Race 6. Stays inside with the 1, the 2, and the 3. I like Marvelous and Waterloo Rose's prices. Race 7 with the 3, 12, and 13. 13, another one sitting there, 15-1. Jamie Ennis will come down a little bit with those scratches, but I think as a player at a big number in here. Let's go to race number 8, the 2 and the 5. Waldrop Deadpan. Finish it out. Spread race 9. Yeah, that's a tricky race to finish up this card. 1, 3, 6, and 7 in race 9. Scratch number 5, made from Leona. $36. There you go.
$36.
I think we're
starting
both
it off with
today,
a
yeah.
pretty gutsy single. I know Magic in the Park's doing well. I know the Connections are doing well, but I think they got to go through Juniper Juice, my top selection. We got a video spotlight for Juniper Juice. I thought this horse ran pretty well in the seasonal debut. Pulled a little bit early and then wound up with a 3-wide trip all the way around the track. This horse is going to make a nice burst to get to a brief lead in upper stretch, and then maybe felt the effects of the layoff, flattening out a bit late. This horse did win second off a long layoff last year.
Yeah, I know. She tried to get this one to save a little bit of ground. It was just unfortunate. The Overland Troop against the boys makes the bid into it, shortening up to a mile today. I think is certainly going to help. This is a filly that's gotten through the open first level allowance condition. She's going to be tough right back. She's going to have some speed to spy as well. I think possibly She's No Uncle is going to go. Meg. I don't think Magic in the Park is going to be going too close. But there's a couple horses in here that might try to zip away early, which would give – now Brasino is going to pick up the mount because Forest Boys goes outside. Can drop in a little bit, save a little bit more ground in pounce. Yeah, I think the road is going to go through Juniper Juice when they turn for home.
But Magic in the Park is also a versatile runner, saddled with a tough outside post position, but has shown the ability to stay close to the pace if the pace is rather slow, and then come from out of it as we saw last time out. I really thought that was a nice start to the 2025 campaign because just the break wasn't there for her.
Good progression, and you know, at the end they're going in July of 24. The blinkers went on, and you see that comment ridden out, tracking last time out, right? Jostled, steadied early. We showed you caught it in that earlier video, but Magic in the Park still worked outward through the final quarter of a mile, kept on trying to the wire, can benefit a lot, and reunited with Forest Boys today, who they scored 2 races back.
Tell me a little bit about Shine On Moon, who has run very well going sprint to route in the past and is going to repeat that angle for Cal Lynch.
Maybe could possibly need a race. I'm still going to use this one. Ran well against Juniper Juice going back to that race in September. Inside, steadied 3/8, steadied again at the quarter. Not a fair shot there. Let things develop. If this one was on an outside post, I'd be a little bit hesitant to use her. I like the draw today, a little shorter run into that turn. I think she can get positioned. Just let things happen up front. Save until the quarter and try to make a finish.
I want to try to get the 3 doesn't hurt to flirt at least into the number. I think this filly comes into this race with dirtied up form. I liked her race at Colonial 4 starts back when they finished 3rd. They then tried a 2-race blinker experiment. She ran okay, but I just don't think she cared for it. And then last time out, they took the blinkers off, but she was also washed off the turf against a very strong field. So she's back on turf with blinkers off for the first time since that 72 buyer. I'm expecting her to make a little bit of a late run.
It's a good pick up there. You know, you see the blinkers come off. That was an off-the-turf race. Going back to some of those fairgrounds races, I'm familiar. Watched her a few times down there. She can definitely bring a run. She's running against some capable horses down in New Orleans as well. So it is a user. I'm going to have her underneath in my exactas. 4 Navani's another shot kind of a horse for me at a 12-1 morning line. You go back to the most recent turf race. You got to go back to November of 24. Bunny Hop Sky Victory. An okay run. I think that field is not quite comparable, but I think she's got a shot underneath at a big price.
And I think your pace analysis is correct. I think She's No Uncle's going to show stretch-out speed, and we'll see how she handles the turf. She seems to have a good amount of upside potential. Keith's going 11, 9, 2, and 4. I'm going 9, 3, 11, and 4 in race number 5. It's the first leg of our 12% value pick 5. Let's move to race number 6, main track, mile and a 16th. It's a starter optional claiming race for fillies and mares. We'll take out the 5. That is Always Laughing. First of our final pick 4 wager. We got 3 today, 50-cent pick 4 wager. Again, Always Laughing is out. I want to start things off with a horse that I probably lined way too high on the morning line, and that is the 3 Waterloo Rose off the claim.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. You've got the scratch of Always Laughing. She's going to definitely come down in price. But I still think when you look at the lineup here, you've got some hard hitters: Peyton Elizabeth, Ginger Girl, Social Lady, Marvelous. So she was 24 to 1 last time as well. So I don't know if you want to take too short of a price on Waterloo Rose, but let's go to the video spotlight off of that race. A starter going the 1-turn mile. We're going to get an extra 16th of a mile today. But Dan, I mean, got position early. She might have to, I think, going to work out a similar trip today, sitting off of Conquest Dancer.
I agree. Conquest Dancer looks like the speed. Now, they stretched this horse out to a mile. They had kept her in 2-turn sprints at Charlestown or going shorter. I think she got a very nice trip and ride here by Briseno because the pace wasn't very fast. They turn into the stretch. She's always moving better than the horses to her inside.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about the little drift in the final 16th of a mile, especially as she stretches out again in distance?
Slightly, but now she moves into the Kieran McGee barn, okay, who the last 3 years I put down here on the Laurel dirt with the 4-year-olds and up, fillies and mares, only 7 for 21, 33% first off the claim. So Kieran we're going to trust here. I think she gets great position, and she was, game to the wire. She dug in quite well, I thought, despite the drift.
Social Lady goes out for trainer Jamie Ness. That's the number 2, and we have a trainer stat for Jamie to share with you. Last out winners, only 15 for the last 38 to $2.11 ROI. This horse did some good things on a wet track last time out, going the 1-turn mile. The pace wasn't very fast, but she was able to overcome with a nice, good run, and she just seems like a solid fit.
Yeah, she's a grinder. I think she can lay close enough against this group. It's interesting how this pace is going to develop with the scratch of Always Laughing, who I thought was going to be forward. I think Ginger Girl now will be able to move in a little bit and get up into position.
I'm very worried that we don't have her in here because she's dropping to a winning level, and she was just in way too tough last time out. Listen to the job Mike Moore's done with Take the Money Honey. That horse came back, won a stakes race at Monmouth with an 88 buyer, one of 2 races to come out of that Ginger Girl race. Okay, Ginger Girl didn't run very well, but she was in against so much tougher. This is her class level. Distance works for her. I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried. I'm hoping the Conquest Dancer gets out there, is aggressive early, and maybe kind of Ginger Girl makes that move, can hang around a little bit. I think spying there will be Waterloo Rose. Don't leave out the 1, Marvelous. And the key here, Georgie Ruiz. When Georgie Ruiz rides Marvelous, they usually run very well together as a team. Caught wide last time in that just dawdling pace, 50 and 2:15. It just couldn't quite make up the ground behind Social Lady. This is a old mare. When she's right, she runs big, and she runs big for Ruiz. I'm using her.
That is a great pickup. Ruiz and Marvelous have paired up for 4 victories throughout their career and a couple of close finishes as well. Are you worried that maybe the pace won't be there for her, or what does Waterloo Rose make it honest for Conquest Dancer and honest for Marvelous?
And I think Ginger Girl will make it honest as well. I think she's going to go ahead and be fairly forward. Toledo gets her out of the gate. She's up there. And Marvelous on it. When she's right, she can lay close enough against this group and grind it out. She loves this racetrack. 5 for 12 at the distance. 8 to 1, 10 to 1. I was going to send in like value keys, and I'll give it out right now. These are the 2 I'm centering around, the 1 and the 3 here. Top and bottom in my doubles, multi-race exotics.
I like that we have the old class master Marvelous back in our mix. 3-1, 2 and 6 for Keith, 3-2, 1 and 6 for me, but it is a wide open race number 6. Race number 7 going a mile on the turf. It's a second level allowance with a 40 down to 32 optional claiming range. Let's take out the 5, the 8, the 10, and we'll also take out, I believe, Gold Digging Broads out, the number 14. Let's start things off with Belle of Rights, who's simply the horse to beat for Shug McGahee and Forest Boys. When they team up in Maryland, they are magical. First, look at a video spotlight for Belle of Rights.
We're going to go 2 back, and we're going to go to Keeneland, really a strong meet there in a tough allowance race, Keogh Beach. But I like the way this one just kind of travels on all the way through the wire. Yeah, Keogh Beach just too good. I think came back to win a graded race and was, 3rd in a grade 1. So this is some relief. The flows of speeds have kind of carried on in those races she's been a part of. I think she's going to have some speed to target in here with some quick horses in payout ratio. Precious Avery likes to be close. Even Bay Street might be part of this part of the mix. But Bella writes, look at this stat here for Shug
When
McGaughey.
Shug comes into Maryland, he means business. 24% winners, 237 ROI. Many of those wins over the years have come with Forrest Boyce aboard. You're so right about the horses this one was facing last time out. I mean, Kehoe Beach is a very good horse. And then they ran this horse in the Tropical Park Oaks last time out, and it was a race where the pace just held together, and she wasn't facing any nobodies in there either. The runner-up came back and ran third in the Grade 2 Pegasus World Cup filly and mare turf. So Bella Wrights has the class. She has the fig, and she might get the setup. And with all that in her favor, I'm betting against her because I really like Precious Avery in this race. Repeating the sprint to route move that resulted in her big win in the Maryland Million Ladies in 2023. I just thought she got an excellent prep race last time out. 5.5 is too short for her. She pressed a horse that ended up tiring to finish fourth. She stayed on well for second. And I think with the blinkers off, maybe she can relax a little bit. I want her sitting off payout ratio, ready to attack turning for home.
Agreed. And I think that's going to be the plan of attack here. Payout ratio just looks like all one way. I do believe Precious Avery has a rating gear.
Payout ratio when she did win on turf at Delaware 2 starts back. She really blasted out to the front, but it was also a race, there was just no closing going on. They ran 1-2 around the track, so it's really all about can she get to the lead and can she back down the fractions. Let's talk about Strut. Her stuff.
Well, this is one where I'm just kind of look at the breeding top side and look at the way she's finished up some of her races on the turf, especially last time out. A little trouble out of the gate, extremely wide. Came on nicely through the last eighth of a mile, stretching out like an exaggerator topside. A look back, second dam, had some success going long, and then you got the key up here. Sheldon Russell riding for Madison Myers. A lot of things kind of working in the right direction for Strutzer stuff. I think she gets a great trip from the inside.
With you and Bill calling charts, I don't even need trip notes because we have the exact same trip notes. I always watch the races before I look at your guys' comments. Brush side of gated start, swung widest.
Yeah, there you go. We try to stay on. I mean, nobody.
You guys
I
do a
mean,
sensational
we watch
job.
them close. I don't know if nobody watches a race as close as you, but
you guys
you're
I think
hired
are the
at
best in the
Equibase if
business.
you ever retire.
All right. Strut Her Stuff is a horse that should appreciate the extra added distance. Let's talk about some of the potential closers in this race. I do think Bell of Rights is the best closer, but I do think Next Girl has a sneaky kick.
Yeah, this is one that I want to say she was scratched recently, and I don't know if it was
May 11th.
Was it May 11th? And the type of race, I think it was on the main track, if I'm not mistaken.
Might have been, yes.
Yeah, but anyhow, coming back to her, she's capable, and she's working like a good horse does. So Robbie does a great job. Certainly fits in here with a run with Arojo. Those two have teamed up. And Tuck Check, the one, I think we ran a stat, I think, on Lindsay Schultz last time out. Her record in Maryland is tremendous. Third off of a break, had to sit there and wait, and did, and got through, and really surged nicely. I think she can take a step up off of that. Definitely going into the two other events tough, but I think she's moving in the right direction.
We've talked about value pick 5s. We've talked about 3 pick 4s. We've talked about Chesapeake pick 6s. Don't forget the old late double if you got to get out. We'll start things off with race number 8, mile and a 16th. It's a first level allowance. We have a very competitive field of 6 in this race. And I want to start things off with your top selection. That's the number 1, Traffic Master. We have a video spotlight. This is a game effort.
Traffic Master has run twice at Laurel, and guess what? Has won both times. The most recent, we're going to go back to December 14th of 24. You know, was able to go ahead and get the battle up in front. We see the short comment off scrum. It takes advantage of an inside run and says, see you later, just kind of wrapped up here late. But Traffic Master can kind of go either way with this inside post. I think there might be a little bit more speed to the outside, patience. Love of this racetrack. I think it's Stalking Pounce.
Her last 2 wins have come when she's rode the rail like she did last time out at Park. She draws that advantageous inside post with a short run to the first turn. You're right. Versatile to go to the lead, to sit off of it. Do you think Foggy Dew's going to go to the front?
I think Foggy Dew might, but I think Pudge Boy Palace is going to have something to say about that. Went up there in 24-3, then sped it up a little bit, 47-4. That was good last time out. I know that was a one-turn mile. Look at the figs. 53 Buyer 3-back to a 75 to an 83. You don't think Jose Corrales has got this one sharp? He's going to fight you because he kept trying through the wire. And as I talked about before, I think the 2-turn mile is a little easier than the 1-turn mile. That's a grueling distance. for these horses.
I am a little concerned that 83 buyer was the result of a wet track move up, but you're right. Her race before that on fast ground was very, very good, and she had to work the middle part of that race and was really firing on at the end to finish in between horses, get beat a length, and gallop out really well. I like that she can stay close to the pace. He is going to have to prove it at this longer distance against tougher horses, but I think the price should be fair.
I think it should be fair, without a doubt. You've got, again, the name trainers are in here. Foggy, I think it has talent, moving in the right direction. Still, this is going to be tough. We'll see if he can kind of gut it out late. Deadpan is another one. I think it's going to, a little trouble at the break last time. The flow was just not there. Maybe he gets it if things get interesting up top with the 3 and the 4. Give him another shot, third off the break, and third time in this barn for Brittany Russell. He's up against Aerospeed, who my top selection did beat in that race here at Laurel back in December.
Aerospeed came back, ran a 91 buyer at Parks out of that last victory at Laurel Park. Deadpan, I thought, ran really well 2 starts back, and again, just lost a lot of chance at the start last time out. A very dangerous contender, to be sure. As for Foggy Dew, this is a very good-looking horse who has tactical speed, and he's so big. I just have a feeling he might be growing into himself and finally reaching peak maturity. I think the X-Man can be aggressive with this horse. Personally, I think he's going to try to make the lead.
Okay, or maybe be a little bit more comfortable if he goes ahead and sits outside of Pudgewick Palace if he goes. But you're right, that was a demanding opening quarter for him, being sent up inside of pretty good horses. Getting a little bit more experience certainly should help Foggy Dew's chances. It's a competitive group here. I know it's a shorter field, but this is a nice group.
Let's close things out, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It's a maiden special weight for Marilyn Bretter Sire. Take out the 5, made from Leona. We'll start things off with Nakanara, the number 7. This barn, sneaky good with turf horses.
Yeah, and over the last 2 years, I know it hasn't been the sharpest of starts to 2025, but Sarah Nagel, 2 for 10, 6 for 10 in the money with the maidens sprinting on the lawn. Nakanara, the only time it's sprinted here on the turf, you have to go back to October of 24. You see that horse there that ran second, Petkoff. He became a killer when transferred into the barn of Brittany Russell down at the fairgrounds. Good enough. That number speaks volumes to me. It's a 73. Hopefully we can get a little flow up front. I think Nakanara brings a run with Ruiz.
You've got Elon in here, and this horse ran pretty well. Second off of the layoff last time. First off of the layoff last time out. Earned a nice number. Can certainly build on that performance.
Yeah, you might see more speed as well. Hopped at the start, made that move wide, has shown speed in the past to try to battle it out on the front end. I think the 4 Super Lasting Secret is going to bring some speed to the table. At least take the 5th with a chance to make a run into it.
Take the 5th, I think, would really benefit from a fast pace. And listen, the 6 sure meant to be is a horse that I want to use, and I think it's just very logical. But how many times have we heard that old saying, never bet a favorite doing something for the first time? Sure, meant to be's trying turf for the first time. I don't like the complexities a lot on turf, but getting blinkers, looks like the controlling speed, and might just simply have found the right field.
Maybe. I mean, I just that's that. You're right on complexity and the price that we're going to get. This horse was on the main track, could be about 2 to 5, but Trombi will probably get me. He's done it before many times. He might get me again today, but too short of a price for me to wrap things up.
I'm using Trombi, but I'm also using the 8 Divine Swagger, and not because you and TJ were busting my chops because I didn't pick Benny Havens' his little brother yesterday. Divine Swagger, I think those last 2 workouts might have come in company with that horse. He ran a pretty good 4th on turf in his turf debut last time out. I wish there was a little bit more turf in this pedigree and a little bit more speed, but the 3rd dam was a Grade 2 winner going long on the turf. It's the family of Rare Gift, who was a graded stakes winner going long on the turf. So I think that this horse, doesn't have to be a killer to at least be there at a price. I'm going to use the 6 and the 8 and hope for the best.
All right.
7-3-1-6 for Keith, 8-6-7-1 for me in race number 9. Best play time, sir.
Yeah, race 6. Number 3, Waterloo Rose off the claim for Kieran McGee again. 4-year-olds and up, the fillies and mares on the main track, 7 for 21, 33% off the claim for Kieran. This horse has just suddenly improved at the age of 7, stretching out a 16th of a mile with a scratch of Always Laughing. I think this horse gets a forward trip and really gutted it out nicely last time. We talked about despite the drift, also using Mavelis in there. Again, race 6, 1 and 3 are the keys.
Tough to beat Chug and Forest in Maryland, but I'm going to try to do it with a pair of 7s. Race number 7, number 7. Precious Avery, she won the Maryland Million Ladies going sprinter route a couple of years ago. She's going to repeat the move today, second off the layoff. I think she's going to be close to the pace. 25 minutes to post for race number 1 of a 9-race program at Laurel Park on Saturday. Main track is fast. Turf course is firm. Callie Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Dave Rodman will take you through the day's action. And let's go up to the great Dave Rodman for scratches and changes.
Good luck, everybody.